Welcome back to Algebra 2, Chapter 5, Section 8 in this book. And they call this section Modeling with Quadratic Functions. It's really kind of word problems. You have data, and then they show you how to plot it and how to kind of get a parabola out of it. I am here to tell you that it is the 2020s, baby. We're not doing it old school anymore. We're going to use our calculator. So I want to show you, if you just have 3 points, then you can put them in your calculator and it will give you the equation of the line. So you don't have to do it the way they're doing it. You just have to have 3 points. So what you do is on your calculator you hit this button that says Stat. And the number 1 choice is Edit, so you just hit Enter. And then you list, for list 1, you list the x's. So this is example 2 in your book. You do -1, -2, 3. And then for the y's, do 2, 0, 0. And we can get those 3 points from the 2 intercepts and that one other point they gave us. Then you go back and you just put it in and hit enter. If there's anything there, you need to delete it out. But let me warn you, if you get your cursor up where it says L1 and L2, it will delete the whole thing. I know how to get it back, and but it's better if you don't delete it in the first place. You go to this reset thing. So you do Stat, Edit, put it all in, and now you go back and hit Stat again, and you arrow over to where it says Calc for Calculate, and you go down to the 5th thing, which is a Quadratic Regression. It means it's going to take the data, and it's going to regress into the formula. Instead of going from the formula to the data, you're going from the data to the formula. You already learned how to do a linear regression. I think you've done it in this class, but I also taught it to you in Algebra 1. And with a linear regression, you only need 2 points. But for a quadratic regression, you're going to need 3. And then, okay, so you select Quad Reg, that's Quadratic Regression, number 5. And then it's got Y list L1, X list L2, frequency, store, reg, EQ, calculate. You arrow down to calculate, see, arrow down to calculate and hit enter. And then it blinks a little bit because it's thinking about it. And then it tells you this is the form they're putting it in, standard form. And they tell you that A equals -0.5, B is 0.5, and C is 3. So for A, we don't put 0.5. We like fractions better. We do -1/2 x squared plus 1/2 x plus 3. So that's the formula that goes with this data. Now the last thing it says is r squared equals 1. What that is this is statistics diagnostics, which means that the closer this r value is to 1, the better your data fits what you're trying to get here. Remember when we learned about how things can have positive correlation, negative correlation, or no correlation? Well, if you put in points that have no correlation and then do a quadratic regression, it will not tell you that it equals 1. It'll say that it's not good at all. So the closer that number is, and a lot of times it's 0.99 or something like that, but you want this to be close to 1. That means our data fits our model, that it really is a quadratic equation and not a straight line or something different, a hyperbola, an ellipse, a circle. It's saying, yep, this is a quadratic equation. Now, in your book, they put it in a different form. They put it in the vertex form, the one that I showed you can get easily from completing the square. Well, how do you know for sure they're the same thing? Go to y equals and put them both in. Put the vertex form in for y1 equals, put the one you get here for y2, and if it's the same, it will give you this only one parabola. It's just one line, and you can see mine's blue for the vertex form, and then it turns it red for the standard form. So and it's the same line, so I know that that's the same. All right, so I don't really want you to be able to do 5.8 other than with your calculator. So and that's what I had on the board last time and the time before. All these problems that I'm not doing that I'm skipping, I want you to go back and do it with your calculator. Don't do it their way. I want you to just use your calculator. Do a quadratic equation program, use your graph to do it, use a regression. I want you to be able to do every problem that I didn't cover, unless it's a weird one that I want you to skip. But if it's just regular problems that I've taught you, I want you, for the ones that I skip, to do it on your calculator and see if you can get the answer, because the calculator is crucial. They expect you to be good with it once you get to college. So we got to train now, just like training for a race. We're training with our calculator to make an A in college algebra. That's right. Math is great.